quit this long ago. Can't stand another heartbreak, but it's time to let it go. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee. Oh, but there's something holding on, the way you're being long gone.
What the heck did Bitcoin just do? Just as quickly as it went up, it seems we are now on our way down. Is this the time to get into a long, or do you still have an opportunity to get a beautiful short entry? Meanwhile, MasterCard buddies up with Ripple. Oh, do I got some zingers for you on this one. Coinbase might be starting their own IEO platform, and France tells Libra, not today, sir, not today, not on these French borders. And we talk about why Trump's plan to refinance the national debt won't work in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live for you here in the Cracking Cryptocurrency studio. Today is Thursday. It is September 12th, 2019, foul year of our Lord. Today, yes, foul year of our Lord. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders, hodlers, and people that aren't quite sure why they're here, but it's an entertaining show and they love to talk about Bitcoin. I am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you happen to be watching us from across YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or of course on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the live chat. Hitting the thumbs up button is also highly appreciated for the YouTube algorithm gods. Today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin is brought to you by us. If you are a new, experienced, or aspiring trader, make sure to head over to premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com and see everything that the Premium Group can offer for you, including exclusive trade signals and setups, in addition to what we focus on, which is risk management, money management, psychology, and teaching individuals how to build their own technical strategy from the ground up with our Pathways to Profit course and our mentors and analysts. Guys, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com if you'd like to use our tools and follow our rules. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. I do know where to start. I know where to start. Usually I say I don't even know where to start because I'm just so overwhelmed with the fantastic show that we're going to do. But today, I know exactly where to start. And we're going to start by giving away some cryptocurrency. So I want to thank this month's and continuing crypto comment giveaway sponsor, Spectre Security Coin. Make sure to go check them out over at spectresecurity.io if you have any security needs. And let's head over into the live scene, give away some crypto, and talk about what the heck Bitcoin just did. YouTube's really cracking down on cussing, so I'm doing my best, guys. Let's slide on over. Okay, and here we are in the live scene. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, anyways. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. I made things a little wider, working on some stuff. I made the bottom a little less busy. It's a work in progress, guys. It's a work in progress. Glad he's in a good mood, but he usually is. Yes, I usually am in a good mood. It's always a good day to be alive. So we're going to load the comments for yesterday's video. And not yesterday's video. By the way, guys, I'm sorry that I wasn't here yesterday. Personal things. I'm sorry I didn't announce it on Twitter. Personal things. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, we're going to randomly pick a winner. We had 13 commenters on Tuesday's video. Bitcoin bulls were not prepared for this. Tether fires up the printing press again. Are we seeing the resultant actions of Tether firing up that printing press? I don't know. Let's find out. Mr. Ether says, what had happened to the live stream? You see, what had happened was life happened. Thank you so much, Mr. Ether. The one, the only. Make sure you guys go follow him over on Twitter and get a hold of me, my friend, in the Discord, and I will tip you some crypto. Did you? This giveaway is mine. All right, guys. So here we are in the live scene. Now, first thing I want to talk about, just because I want to, I did make a pretty big update to Quadriga ATR. I added the Quadriga ATR informational panel. So for everybody who has access, for everybody who's in the group and has access to the premium indicators, I have this nice little handy informational panel that's going to pop up if you have Quadriga ATR open. I really want to thank Dave Yat and Ricardo Santos. They did a lot of legwork on the code. I repurposed it for what I need. This is going to indicate your stop loss, your 3 take profits. That's all settable. You can set where you want your take profits, and it's going to show you the right one. Your recommended position size in USD and BTC, the percent of equity that your maximum percent of equity that you should allocate to a trade to be within your risk tolerance, how far your stop loss is away from you, how far the stop loss is away from you percentage-wise, what the average to range is, and what the average to range percentage is for setting either trailing stops or for setting trailing take profits, or whatever it is that you want to use average to range and average to range percentage for, because we do talk about multiple ways that you can do so. But let's go ahead and hide that. We've got a lot going on. It is a busy chart. We're going to bring back, we're going to do something a little different today. First off, let's get rid of Quadriga ATR. And by the way, all of this is programmable in here. You can go long, you can go short. It'll change. Now, this was green, but I found out that teal is just a whole lot easier on the eyes. So we went with teal and not green. That red's a little, but we want to understand that, hey, you're going short, make sure. Let's see here. And then, of course, you can switch between average and median. All of this will change. You can set your take profits. You can do whatever it is that you like, and disable the position size calculator if you so like. So having said that, let's take Quadriga ATR off and let's talk about a few things. So one thing that we're going to do is we're going to be using, we're going to put Volatility Expander up for a while so that we can talk about some alternative forms of entry. And we're also going to be utilizing not only the Volatility Expander, but we're also going to be utilizing our 30-period Donchian. We're going to be talking about that in terms of our new baseline, because I think that that's going to help a whole lot of people out to have a baseline like that that's a little less sensitive, that acts a little bit more naturally like you would kind of want a trending line to act as. Now, I've talked about this a whole lot before. There is a specific way that you need to trade if you're utilizing the 13 EMA like I do. I enjoy trading that way. But if you're looking to build something a little more simpler, something a little less hands-on, then I think you can't really go wrong. Again, you want to do your own back testing, but I think the secondary baseline works really well. The 55 EMA, we've talked about that before. We've talked about the tertiary baseline, the 21 EMA, and I've also been mentioning the 30 Donchian. And really, what really impresses me is just the back testing results that I've seen out of this thing. And I've seen how well this has worked on other people's algos, and then taking a look and seeing how congruent it is with mine. We've got some impressive results. So anyways, I'm going to be adding this to the baseline indicator. I'm going to be adding the Donchian setting so you guys can add this as well. Currently, you guys can get this by just loading up the CC Ichimoku and disabling everything but the Kijun, i.e. baseline. Wink, wink, if you guys want to know where the term baseline came from. All right. Mr. Ether says, nice. Give it to your most recent premium member. Well, thank you, man. That is very generous of you. That is going to be moment, I'll tell you, because I do want to be as accountable as I can. By the way, let's turn the music off. Come on, Google, load for me. There we go. that would make the winner an individual by the name of BugBite. BugBite, please get a hold of me in the Discord, and I will tip you some crypto, my good friend. Some Spectre security coin. All right, so let's go to the daily and let's talk about this. Now, when I woke up this morning, I was not feeling very bullish. Now, Da Vinci did take a long position. He talked about the spinning top doji on yesterday's candle close. That was his morning analysis this morning. He was bullish as long as we were holding a support level there. He was bullish as long as we were holding a support level there. That's not the way that I trade, so my analysis is a little different. However, that was there. When we take a look at everything that was happening on the daily close yesterday, and we have to evaluate when we're trading the daily time frame, what is different between the daily yesterday and what is different today. What happens intraday on the daily doesn't matter if you're just trading the daily time frame. You largely ignore all of that information. So what we do see anyways yesterday is continual closing below our 30-period Donchian. And then yesterday, not yesterday, but the day prior to that, we did end up closing below the baseline. We closed below the baseline. We were already in that 4-hour. We got the entry into the short on the 4-hour time frame, got the 4-hour LSMA setup. That's a strategy that I do run concurrently with everything as well. It's a long and a short strategy because I optimize my long and short strategy separately. But the 4-hour LSMA fired on that down movement that we talked about and caught live right on the stream last week. You guys will remember that. That was a good one. So anyways, long story short, we were still below the baseline. We were still below the Donchian. Wadatar explosion closed yesterday just bearish. Now, one thing that I will point out and that a lot of people do is when we see the WADA change from red to orange, a lot of people will utilize that opportunity to exit their position. I would say that it works well a good amount of the time, but there are often going to be times, especially in a daily trend, where you're going to go orange. And because we have our stop loss set the way that we do, because we don't play within intraday volatility, where you are going to be allowed to stay in your position, whereas something else or a less, more sensitive system on the daily is going to be pushing you in and out of a position. So often, here's an example, you'll have a large movement to the downside, you'll get an entry for it, you get a signal to go short, and then price will go sideways for an extended period of time during which your exit indicator will fire, or you will get some other indication to exit, for example. You will do so, and then price will then break down out of that consolidation to the downside, and you've missed your trade. That's why I like not doing that myself. But anyways, that is just something that I wanted to point out. So as far as today goes, we are on the ByBit chart, and the high of today's daily candle was 10,371, which guess what? Did not kick me out of my short position because my average entry was about $15 higher than that. So still in my short. Now, what I actually did on the close of this last 4-hour candle was I went ahead and reshorted. And the theory behind that being very simple. In a bullish structure, any large opportunities that you see you're looking to get in on, it's a little bit more complicated than that, and we'll break that down when we go to the 4-hour candle as well, and we'll look at a few of our lines. But anyways, it was congruent with exactly what daily PTP told me to do. Daily PTP told me to be short. Now, should the daily candle close the way that it is, I will, and by that I mean above the baseline, then I will have to go ahead and exit the position. Ideally, I'll be in profit. Of course, I already took profit on both on my short trade, my primary short trade that I got into on the 4-hour time frame, and I just re-added to that position on ByBit short on the on the 4-hour time frame as well, but just on the playing the daily setup, utilizing the 4-hour time frame, utilizing the 4-hour setup. So if that occurs, if price basically closes where it is now, I will be exiting with a profitable trade on one hand and a profitable trade on the other. Because again, either way, because my stop loss is a break even and I've taken 80% of that profit now, if I get stopped out now at break even, that's just money not made, and I'll lose $20 on commission, give or take. So that's about it as far as that goes. So let's look at a few other things here. I want to talk about Volatility Expander, and I want to talk about the way that this works and its reversion to the mean strategy. So I got this question. Somebody asked me to talk about Bollinger Bands. I don't really want to talk about Bollinger Bands, but I'd prefer to talk about ATR Bands. And ATR Bands and Bollinger Band strategy is exactly the same, when price goes below the lower band of the ATR band, you buy it on the way back up. You don't buy when price goes below the band because that can often be a sign of a strongly trending market. So my point here is that can also act as an early exit for you, those of you who are trading trends. That can also act as an entry indicator for those of you who are trying to trade reversals, for example, and it works very, very well in ranging markets, which are generally able to be identified after a couple taps of support and resistance. And for me, the primary thing that denotes a ranging market is the ATR value going down. Literally, what is the tilt of the ATR? Is it up or down? If the ATR is rising, typically we are in a trend. If the ATR is falling, typically we are in consolidation or ranging. Now, it does take a while, especially on the daily, for that to catch up. But when it does, it gives you that good signal and it lasts very well for quite a while. Now, let me get Restream chat pulled open. Man, what is going on with that, with Streamlabs? It's just hitting me with that top clip, which is aggravating. We'll also pull open Stream Labels. And because I don't see it when any of you awesome Twitchers do anything like cheer or throw or kick or scream or cry or say, hey, do something over here, I do have to pull up a separate thing for Twitch. Okay, I got everything up. I'm operating on all cylinders now. Thank you so much, Tiafi Christovsky. Thanks so much for the sub over there on YouTube, my good friend. Okay, let's finish with the daily, and then let's go down and kind of talk about what Bitcoin did today, which I think is interesting. Now, where are we at on the daily? Minx is still below the zero line. We have not crossed back up into static, so no exit signal as far as that goes. Now, time transformation is flirting, it looks like, if price closes exactly where it is. Obviously, if we retrace significantly, then there's a potential that TT will not cross, but that is going to be an exit signal. So it looks like if we do end up closing where we are, then that will be an exit structure for good or for ill, and we'll have to wait for another setup. We already got a very good BTC USD short trade out of this, and I'm fine with basically being in the middle of the range right now and waiting for a clearer sign, either looking to take the breakdown trade or the breakout trade, whichever wants to come first. On the other hand, or excuse me, in conjunction with that, we also do have Wadatar explosion flipping direction, printing a green column, not above the dead zone, but above the explosion level, which is itself another exit indication as well. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with my entry. Do I really think that this is extremely bullish? No, I don't. As always, I'm happy to be proven wrong about that, but that's not the setup that I currently have. I am still short, and I did just re-short off of this. So basically taking the reversal baseline bounce, obviously we went significantly higher than that. Not a whole lot significantly higher. If we actually look at Quadriga ATR and we look at what would be the average true range right now, the average true range on the daily is 493.32, meaning the baseline coming in right around where we're at right now, 10,285. We can pull up in the data window actually and get 10,262. So from 10,262 plus about 400, yeah, would put our stop actually about 500, would put our stop loss right up here about the upper band of our volatility, on the upper ATR band of our volatility expander, so right around 10,739. That's not where my stop is. I structured it actually tighter than that on the 4-hour time frame, so we'll go down and look at that. Now, if we go down and look at the previous 12-hour close as well, the previous 12-hour close would have been telling, would have been potentially telling. Now, the 12-hour would not have got you into the long unless your initiation signal was Minx crossover. If your initiation signal was Minx crossover and you were using a confirmer that got you into the trade, then you'd be fine. Because we do not close above the 12-hour baseline here, but we do close above the 12-hour 30-period Donchian, which again, as I said, I think is really becoming interesting to me as a usable and very utilizable baseline. Now, let's see here. Now, Wadatar explosion for me had not flipped to the upside, so there was nothing to be done there, and actually ended up holding my position open in spite of that, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad with the decision that I made, but depending on how exactly you're trading, we do have, of course, the 12-hour Minx cross up, We do, of course, have the time transformation, which gave the buy signal, which on the 12-hour time frame, you could be utilizing it as an exit structure as well. But again, remember that I had passed over the 4-hour signal into the daily, so I have to be utilizing dailies. Otherwise, the 4-hour would have kicked me out of this a long, long time ago. Now, insofar as what we have on the 12-hour, interestingly enough, even with the 12-hour close on this evening, we still will not be getting a 12-hour signal to go long, just as we're not getting a daily signal to go long. There is a difference between potentially exiting a short and going long. And although we may be getting a signal to exit the short and be flat and risk neutral, that does not necessarily mean, it does not always mean that we are getting a good signal to go long, because when you go long, when you enter into the market, you better have a good reason. Now, over to the 4-hour, and I want to get rid of Quadriga ATR. Now, very similar. We see the exact same thing here. We see the entry here and here on the lower band of the ATR band. And again, as I've talked about, what is the targets for this type of setup? The first target is always going to be your baseline. So the moment the price hits your baseline, you exit the trade. So if we actually zoom in and look very specifically on this ATR band, you can see we close below on this candle. We close back inside the band. On the very next candle, we hit the baseline. We do it again. We close below the band of volatility here. We get back in here. We take our profit here. Where's the second target? At the upper band of volatility. So the moment you tap that level, so basically this is pretty easy to do with the indicator. You just actually tap it and you set an alert. You're not going to be able to set, now those of you with eagle eyes will notice that you won't actually, you will not want to actually target the value of the baseline or the upper band of ATR when you enter into the trade. The reason why is because that level is dynamic and shifting, and you want to be taking profit when it happens. So the only way to really do this is a little bit more active of a strategy. Of course, you can set your take profit there and then adjust it as time goes by, update it every day or whatever time frame that you're trading on. But in this particular instance, you will be, for me, you just set the alert. When trading view goes off, you go in and you market sell your position. That's the best way that I know of to do it. That's how I would do this. Now, conversely, what do we see on the opposite side? Obviously, when price goes above and closes back inside, you take the exact same setup on the 4-hour close, which is going to be occurring here in about 2.5 hours, and you would be targeting your median line. It's a reversion of the mean strategy. So all the way down on the 4-hour time frame of 10,173 would be a good first take profit on any short trade. Now, I re-entered into this trade again, right near right at the close of the 4-hour candle, right at the close of the 4-hour candle. So it brought down my average entry a little bit from 10,384 down to around the 10,327 level. So comfortable with that, happy with that entry, and we'll see how that plays out on the 4-hour time frame. So missed my take profit on my short on ByBit by $6. SMH. Weekends with Reese. There will always be another trade, my friend. Nothing to fret about. Let's see here. What else do we got going on here on the 4-hour time frame? So, do I think that this is a breakout movement to the upside? I don't. I'm willing to be wrong on that. It is going to take a little bit more bullish activity. Now, here on the 4-hour, we do have our long signal. Now, we do get the signal here where we do cross and close above the baseline. This is where we actually would have gotten in at 3 o'clock in the morning UTC time. Actually, I'm sorry, this is my time. This is my local time. So let's actually go back to UTC time. Sorry, because I do flip over when I stop doing the live show, because this is how I actually chart. So anyways, back at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning on the 12th. So 4-hour time frame. This is the signal to go long. I know some guys in the group did go long. I know they were targeting that $10,400 area. I don't think that they ended up hitting those targets. That's fine. They still might. Oh, that's really loud. That's really loud. Thank you so much for the sub on YouTube, my good friend, Ajabola. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and let's look at where we are price action wise, for those of you who are interested in such. All right, let's bring that back. Let's talk about let's go to the daily. That'll be a little clearer and we can expand on this a little bit. Okay. And zoom that out. Good. So on the daily, as far as price action, as far as price structure goes, here is the meme triangle that price is contracting into, tightening into. Again, please don't send me any angry messages about how you don't like my lines. I don't like my lines either because I do not think that they are very indicative of good strategy to trade price with. However, we have pointed out previously how well these lines, this triangle at this current point in time, is working as a dynamic level of, excuse me, it's a static level actually, of support and resistance. Now, for whatever reason, that's absolutely fine. You will find that there are certain periods in a chart's price history where a pattern does play out very well. The problem with chart patterns, in my personal opinion, is that they stop working at certain points in time. And when that shift happens, you often do not know what to do with your strategy because they have, statistically wise, they have about as much odds as resolving in the way that people believe that they will resolve. So when you have something that's known as a bullish pattern or something that's known as a bearish pattern, such things don't really exist because statistically they are likely to resolve any which way. And as I've said, there is no logical reason why a pattern has to resolve anyway. There's no reason why price can't trade sideways out of the triangle, but we shall see. We shall see. K7, Jixer, haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you, brother. All right. Now, as far as levels go, if you are looking for levels, we have that daily OB, previously bullish breaker, currently bearish OB at 10,462 to 10,389. As we've said before, price breaking above that level. We've broken above it twice and always came right back down. That still does not change the setup from an OB strategy, which is when you do get the close above that level, you look to go long or buy any pullbacks or tests to that area. We didn't actually get price going all the way down to that 4-hour bullish bullish breaker that Jason was so kind to point out, down from 98.39 to 98.19. So that entry on a long position would not have gotten filled. And we are currently coming back up to that level of resistance. Now, I think that I won't be taking any action based off of these lines. I will be taking action and waiting to go long for my short to be invalidated, obviously. I'll be waiting for my short to be invalidated. And if I get the signal to go long on the daily or 12-hour time frame, I will take that signal. Or if I get a continuation signal now on the 4 hours. So we will see how extensive this pullback is going to be. It's either the beginning of a bearish movement or it is the beginning of a breakout. My money is on the end of the movement. Again, in a bearish structure, you look to short any and all retracements, any and all movements to the upside. You look for those opportune entries, just as we got over here. Everybody kind of screened for the moon and looked for the long. So that's not where my mind is right now currently. Is this a daily chat? Yeah, it is. We're here every day. If you meant a daily chart, this is a daily chart. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Okay. We got a lot more to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about where is it? Aha. All right, so let's go look over at Ethereum. And my thoughts this morning, interestingly enough, were, Ethereum, and we can actually delete that level now. Don't forget about my decks, Justin. What do you mean, brother? Talking about the music? So my thoughts this morning was that Ethereum actually looks stronger than Bitcoin right now. Obviously, you can see that the strength of the retracement on Ethereum has not been as strong, but I'm not taking any action here. Let's bring up our indicators. So we will bring up Volatility Expander. So you can see we are currently above the baseline. We did close back down below the baseline yesterday. Let's take a gander here and see. Can I explain why Ethereum Classic shot up a couple days ago and now it's almost back down to previous levels? Well, you know, the smart aleck response would be there were more buyers than sellers. That's typically the smart ass response that I give. In Ethereum Classic's case, you know, Ethereum Classic's been relatively bullish for a while, you know, but the gotcha, man. I will take a look at that, Magnus. I promise you, my friend. I've been really, really busy lately, man. So there is a lot of email correspondence I need to catch up with. There's a lot of people that have started conversations with me about doing things. And if it's not trading and working with my developer right now, a lot of that is getting pushed to the sidelines. Nothing personal to any of you guys who are friends or have entered into conversations with me watching. It's not personal. It doesn't mean I value your time or your proposal or your ideas any less than anybody else. It just means I'm very, very tunnel vision focused on one thing and one thing only most of the time, and that's improving my trading and improving the experience of the subscribers to the group. And that comes from me putting my time and effort into building out the system and structure. Jacob Brown, thanks so much for joining the community over on Twitch, my good friend. Hey, what's going on, David Rice? Good to see you, man. How does a hard fork affect price? So typically a hard fork affects price negatively. I've said this many times before. Typically when you get a hard fork, when there's a rumor of a hard fork, you typically can buy the asset. And then about 3 days prior to the fork, sell. That was far more true in a bullish market. It has been less true in a bearish market. But I will say Ethereum Classic is something that we've taken some trades on. It's something that's been bullish. It's something that's been interesting. It's been an interesting asset to watch. It has shot up a whole lot. And again, sometimes in crypto land, when things pump and dump, but dump higher than they previously dumped and then pump and dump, well, you know, sometimes you call that a bullish trend. You know what I mean? Sometimes in crypto, that's all you can hope for a bullish trend. Oh man, look at price dump. Well, hey, you know, it dumped higher than it previously dumped, even though it just retraced 30%. Well, we'll call that a bull trend. That's a altcoin bull trend. Now, anyway, so Ethereum here on the daily, we do have the cross under on Minx. So I'm going to be waiting for the daily continuation signal here on Ethereum to take action on the daily. However, I will be keeping my eye on the 12 hour. The 12 hour is not giving me the go ahead yet. I wanted to pull open the Donchian and see where we are on the Donchian. Now, the 12 hour is not giving me the go ahead yet, so I won't be taking that position. I like those long wicks to the downside, but that's really relying on price action. And one more candle to the upside would give me the long signal on Ethereum. Now, one might say this is an area of the market, and we'll see this more when we kind of look at EOS and when we look at, God forbid, Ripple, where, you know, people are going to say, but Justin, how can you be fundamentally bearish right now on Bitcoin based on the technicals and yet be looking at these other coins and talking about potential longs? I have to trade the way that the charts, I have to trade pursuant to my system, right? It's not my subjectivity. It's not my ability to perceive the market. There is some of that, which does come out on stream, and that just comes from having traded for a very long period of time. But for the most part, it's learning nuances of my system and seeing repeatable patterns in the market that I've seen predictable results from when action is taken after witnessing those patterns play out again. Call it whatever you will, but that's how trading works. That's how reliable trading strategies are built. It is by identifying repeatable patterns in the marketplace, learning statistical edges from taking action based off of those things, testing that thesis, validating that thesis, and then applying that thesis to your capital to grow it. That is the scientific definition, I would say, of trading. Trading is not BitMEX large ROEs and this and that. You know, I want to point out, I recently retweeted Karash, and he said he had made a tweet talking about how he makes 5% consistently every single month. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not. But then, of course, you got some people coming in saying, oh, man, this is crypto, man. 5% a month is nothing. You are robbing yourself. And I don't think that anybody who says that understands how you grow an account over time, because 5% consistently, so 5% growth on equity, return on equity, every month on your account balance, which is what you should be looking at, every single month for 5 years, starting with an account, turns a 6-figure account into a 7-figure account. So how many people do you know have a game plan to turn 6 figures into 7 figures in 5 years? Not very many. How many do you know that has a game plan to turn 5 figures into higher 6 figures in 5 years? Not very many. And that's a situation and a place where a lot of people, I think, are going to be who are watching this channel or who are considering trading. There are individuals who are going to be able to deploy, a higher 4 or 5 figure trading account, and looking for those in crypto, what most would consider moderate gains, compounding over time because you have a consistent strategy, is going to yield you at the end of the year a more profitable human being than the person on Twitter who is posting charts, calling prices, calling price levels, talking about, and posting pictures of their massive ROE trades every once in a while. Most of those people are not actually making money in the long run. They're making big trades, they're getting liquidated on a few others, and you don't see that. You don't see behind the scenes. And as somebody who's traded for a very, very, very long time, what you want is conservative consistency. And nobody wants to hear that. Everybody thinks that trading is just getting that big lick and getting rich quick. People don't want to hear that, hey man, this is a lifestyle where if you can lock in 3 to 5% per month in crypto, which you can absolutely do, you can take yourself from whatever you're doing right now and transform your life. You can work from home. You can provide for your family's needs. You can live quite well. And it's very rare that we get an asset class that offers humans this opportunity. But it takes work. It's what we're all about in the group. We're all about hard work. We're not about easy. It does take work. And the people who are doing the best, the people who are potentially going to become analysts for the group, are the people that are putting in the work. And I'm very, very proud to work with, again, some of the most, some of the most disciplined and hardest working guys and gals that I've met in my life. It's been an honor and a privilege to mentor some of you guys and to work with some of you guys. It really is. It really is a privilege. You guys make my life amazing. So anyways, here on the 4-hour chart on Ethereum, not going long right now. We had the 4-hour close at 11 o'clock my time. We did go above the baseline, but not going to do it. 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 12-hour I'd do. 12-hour I'd do. Let's see what happens on the 12-hour. But of course, we still need to get, we have a rising explosion level, and we still need for Ethereum's price to get way, way on up there, right? Way on up there. Now, let's go over, so neutral on Ethereum. I'm actually hedged short on Ethereum right now. Don't have an active trade open. Any funds that I have in Ethereum are just held in a 1x short. So I'm not in an active position on Ethereum. EOS I am short on. Took EOS short again a couple days ago. This trade is doing well. Very, very, very long wicks to the downside. We did hit the first take profit on EOS. So our stop loss is now at break even. It's quite a comfortable trade for us right now. Nothing we really have to worry a whole lot about. Again, people asked me why I took the short on Ethereum. I answered as best as I could. What's going on, Johnny? Good to see you, man. Johnny, I messaged you yesterday and I'm like, we got to catch up today. And I got to leave tomorrow morning and I got to get all packed and everything today. So I just really hope I can make time for everybody, man. But you are definitely right up there on the top of the list. Right here. Developers here. You're here. And Scott's. No, I'm kidding. Scott's right up here. Love you, brother. Now, let's see here. Okay. So as far as EOS went, when I was looking at the 4-hour close this morning for my analysis, this is the, let's actually pull open my time. When I was looking at the 7 a.m. close, which is the close that I was talking about, as I said, I was tempted to add to my position right here. You can see this consolidation playing out on EOS on the 4-hour time frame. And I think that the higher probability is that it resolves to the downside. Could it potentially break up out of that? Whatever that is on the lower right-hand corner of the chat box on your screen looks alarmingly like a toaster. It is a miner. That is an ASIC. No ASIC boost around here, sir. If you do something like, I don't know, if you do a super chat, or if you subscribe, or if you follow, or if you do anything, it will drop stuff in there, man. Philip Carr, what's going on, my good friend? Howdy, he says, what a fabulous day. At least an entry long on cotton and maybe chicken dinner tonight. Hope all's well with y'all. Philly from Cottonopolis. Hey, man, hopefully the cotton markets are doing fantastic. You know, ever since I posted that graph, I haven't really taken a big gander at the cotton markets too much, just when I review regular commodities. So hope you're doing very, very well over there. And what I hope is sunny Manchester, my good friend. But anyways, I do think that EOS looks quite bearish here as opposed to Ethereum. And so when I wrap this all up, when I look at the major dollar pairs and I'm like, okay, bearish on Bitcoin, bullish on Ethereum, but not yet. And I'm bearish on EOS. Either I'm wrong about Ethereum or I'm wrong about the other two. And so when I look at my risk profile, I'm like, you know, right now is not the time to be very, very busy in the markets. You know, a lot of people are getting chopped and screwed right now. And that's not really where I like to be. I don't really like to be activating or active in the realm of chopped and screwed traders. I prefer to take very, very powerful signals and put capital behind them. Let's see here. As far as altcoins go, we were experiencing a little bit of a low cap altcoin sneezing. And by altcoin sneezing, this is what an altcoin sneezing looks like. So we'll go take a look at one of the good ones. APPC. So we were lucky enough to catch APPC, took APPC to the upside. Obviously had that very nice boom and bust cycle as all the altcoins do. And again, this is just something that you'll notice every once in a great while. Your low sats will just and then just right back down, and then they reset for like 3 months. And then if you have the correct signals to catch them, back up to the races. So again, this all takes patience and the right system. But again, I would say that the volatility expander is one of the better indicators for this purpose, especially, let's go to the APPC. APPC was one of those few situations where we were lucky enough to get just a fully confirmed long trending signal on a shitcoin that worked out very well. As far as volatility expander, worked out well here, did work out well here. So goes below, comes back up inside the band, and you take it to the upside. And this actually ends up going all the way up. So that's quite nice. Doesn't happen here. Doesn't get you in for this very nice long wick. And then, of course, we can look at one of the bad ones like AST, BTC. And as soon as we get that nice long trending signal, it's just right back down to the pits of Hades. But again, I want to point out that volatility expander, right? Price goes below, you buy it coming back in, and you would have caught that movement to the upside. Now, in reality, you have to realize you're not catching that whole movement. Trend following traders are often going to only catch 50 to 75% of that movement, but I digress. And then I took a couple dollar pairs short on Kraken last night. Really happy with those trades. Happy with those trades. Keep them sound effects coming. What about Dash? Looks good on a short. Let's go look over at Dash USD real quick on the old Kraken. Okay, so below the Donchian, looking bearish. As far as Dash goes, there's really nothing to do here. We are closing above the baseline, but Minx is below the zero line. We just kind of got wiffle waffled on that. Watertower Explosion is actually bearish, but we're below the 30-period Donchian. So this would lead me to say that any continuation shorts I would be looking to take, and I would not be looking to take this long right now. Not be looking to take this long right now. Do I think this looks like a good short? No. But you're in the right place. You're in the right place, I think, to be shorting Dash and not longing it. but just not right now. But again, perhaps our strategies are different. I don't see anything in here that says that price is overbought or that this is the moment that I want to re-enter into the short. Price could go up, price could go down. It'll definitely go to the right, not to the left. But I just don't have a clear signal on Dash here. So that means I would do nothing. Let's see if we can give you a little bit of a clearer answer on the 4 hour. The 4 hour would actually be telling you to take a long on the 4 hour time frame, so not on the daily. So if we looked at Dash on the daily, or excuse me, Dash on the 4 hour, let's see where we are in 2 hours, but potentially you'd be taking price up to $86.90. And we're currently at 85.55, so. No problem, man. Thank you so much for joining. All right, 12:45, and we've still got so much to talk about. So much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. I do know where to start. I know where to start, and I know where we're going to go. Let's go look at XRP. XRP. ZERP. Yeah, that thing's being quite annoying, isn't it? That Streamlabs bot. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's wrong with it. But I'm sure we'll get it figured out one of these days. Other than that, man, the trades I got going on right now are quite good. I'm quite happy with my entries. I'm in about. Let's go over and look here. Sure. About 9 active positions overall in total P&L. In total P&L for the month of September, especially the second week. First week, actual P&L wise, down just a tiny bit, although up total trade raw trade ROI percentage, down a little bit P&L wise. But week 2 definitely bringing and boosting that back up and putting me in the profit. So doing pretty well this month so far, as is the group, and currently right now on trades looking quite good. All right, so let's go to. Don't really have anything to say here about XRP. I've held XRP in a hedge short for quite a while, so not really making a whole lot of money off of this, and there's really hasn't been a whole lot of money to make, honestly. Obviously, if you shorted right at the top and you held price down, but this thing just really isn't moving. The ATR on this is quite dead, but the movement definitely is to the downside. Just keeps slow walking itself down. But I just don't have any strong commitment. We would have gotten a nice re-entry signal right here. And we would have taken price down. All-time high on SPY this week? I think so. Seems right. Let's do, we need to do Forex and we need to do, let's do Forex. We need to update some trades anyway. So let's do Forex and then maybe we'll look at traditional markets. Start off by looking at the Aussie yen. You guys are going to have to hold on just a second so I can log into my account here. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. So here is my FX account. Started off this month, or excuse me, started off August with $1,000. So currently up about 12% on my total account. Ever since August, I haven't added the additional, like the regular account that I said I was going to. Not that I said I was going to. I started off with $100 in July, and then I started off with $1,000 in September, grew it up to a larger account. And I've grown that to 1,120. So that's 12% return on equity. So if you average that out across the 2 months, that's 6% so far. So not actually really good. Really good. Because then you average that out across 12 months is fantastic. So I'm really happy with these results. these are all the open trades that I currently have open right now. So Forex has been quite good to me, honestly. I think the system works very well, very naturally over on Forex. And I'm very happy about that. I knew that I was going to have a whole lot going on in the month of September, so I did not go ahead and open up the regular sized account. So I'll just continue to grow this one over the course of September and see, kind of prove to myself that I can still consistently lock in that 6% on this market that I haven't traded in quite a while. I've been back into it every day for the last 2 months. So very, very happy over here. So let's close that down and let's go look at trades. Aussie yen, I am long on the Aussie yen. We can actually... let's see here. There is no exit signal right now from the Aussie yen. Nothing to do right now. Let's go over to the Aussie Kiwi. Let's see here. There was a continuation long trade on the Aussie Kiwi yesterday. Continuation long. Aussie dollar. Now, because I was spread out, I was already in a preponderance of trades. I did not end up taking some of the trending trades that I could have. So, for example, the Aussie dollar right here on this candle right here could have gone long on this candle. So the Canadian Swissy would be a short volatility expander wise, but we're pretty close to that target. We're pretty close to the target of the baseline right there. Let's see here. Is there going to be an opportunity? About 19 pips on the Canadian Swissy. So not really the opportunity that I look for. So I think I will just wait. I think the Canadian Swissy is still bullish. So we will wait for a continuation trade on the Canadian Swissy. Nothing to do right now. Canadian yen, long on the Canadian yen. Let's see here. No exit signal yet. So we will just wait. Nothing to do. Swissy yen, long on the Swissy yen. I went long on the Swissy yen 2 days ago. This thing just popped off and hit my first take profit this morning. So we'll go ahead and drag our stop loss up to break even like that. And wait. Eat, drink, and be merry. The Euro Aussie. Short on the Euro Aussie. Now, the Euro Aussie was in a full risk short from over here. Ended up taking my first bit of take profit right here. Now, interestingly enough, we'll see that not only are we going to be going back inside the lower ATR band, but time transformation is also giving us a reversal buy signal. That is the signal to get on up out of the trade. So we'll wait for the daily close and we will politely slide on out of the Euro Aussie. So let's make sure that we highlight that with a red so we know to take action. Euro Canadian. No action on the Euro Canadian right now. Potentially one could have taken, again, the reversal trade yesterday. We closed below and back in. But again, as I said, I can't enter into new positions right now. I'm just a little overextended. And because I'm well balanced hedge-wise against the currency pairs and in a nice way that's turned in my favor because I've been able to turn unprofitable positions into profitable positions, I'm not really in the mood right now or the ability right now to add to some new positions. So I need to wait and ride out this last wave of trending signals and then catch the new wave of trending signals as they come in. EuroCAD is definitely one to keep your eye on. But had I taken that trade, I would be exiting this trade right now. This is where I would have had my take profit. So nothing to do on that. Euro Swissy. Let's see here. Euro Swissy hit my stop loss so I can cancel this sell limit. So the Euro Swissy was a full risk trade. So let's go over here again, up 1117 right now. And so this was actually up more than that. This was about 25%, or actually, excuse me. This was up about 2% more than that. And then that stop kicked about 2% of my account equity out, which was a little bit more. Got an update for me, Windows. Okay, thank you. Another time. Let's see here. So we can uncomment the Euro Swissy. We're not in that trade anymore, and we can delete this. What would I think about the Euro Swissy? I would still be, I'm still bullish on the Euro Swissy. I do have to wait for another signal now, but Euro Kiwi. Let's see here. Euro Kiwi ended up hitting my first. This is interesting. Euro Kiwi hit my first take profit this morning, so I moved my stop loss to break even, and as you guys can see, stop loss got filled at break even. Where are we at here with the Euro Kiwi? Well, we are closing back above the Donchian, still below the baseline, so I'm absolutely neutral on this one. I'm absolutely neutral on this one. We potentially are going to be flipping back bullish, or this is just a movement to shake out before the movement up. Or excuse me, before the movement down. So I'm completely neutral right now on the Euro Kiwi, no longer in that active trade, so I'll uncomment it. And now I begin, as I move into this evening's trading session, I will potentially be able to put on some new positions. Was in a Euro pound short, ended up taking all my profits on the move down. I'm glad that I did. Getting the official exit signal now. I would be looking to take the Euro pound short in any possibilities right now. The Euro Yen, I am long on the Euro Yen. Just hit my first take profit, as you can see, so we can move that stop loss right on up to break even right now. And so there's really nothing to do. I took the Euro Yen long right here on the long signal, and we will just patiently wait. Euro Dollar, home of the manipulated currency. The Euro Dollar, I'd still be looking to take any and all opportunities to take the Euro Dollar short. Now, taking this last Euro Dollar short trade would have hit your stop loss, absolutely for sure. You are coming up to that 30-period Donchian, so I would do nothing except for wait for a signal. You're going to need a full indicator reset now on the Euro Dollar, and this thing is choppy as fuck. Pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi, I'm no longer in a discretionary short on, so we can remove those drawing tools. The Pound Kiwi, I would be bullish on. I would be bullish on the Pound Kiwi. I'm bullish on the pound right now. So, but there's no clear good continuation signal. In fact, Wadatar Explosion is telling you to not take a trade. The Pound Canadian. I am long on the Pound Canadian. I have not hit my first take profit on the Pound Canadian yet, so we will just wait for price to play out. We've got quite a little bit of distance to go before we hit our first take profit, and that's high volatility right there coming in. So, Pound Swissy, again, I would be bullish as well. However, I think that there is now going to be a reversal short opportunity on the Pound Swissy, so let's go ahead and mark this. I run over a volatility expander, and that's going to be taking price down to about 21.24. 21.24 on the Pound Swissy. So we'll mark that one red because there's action to be taken on the Pound Swissy. And that's going to be that upper boundary, volatility boundary trade right there. Trade setup. Pound Yen was one that I wanted to take long, but I didn't, and that's okay because I got the long exposure elsewhere. Is there a trade to take right now? No. No, we got to wait on that one. Pound Dollar. Same thing. I'm bullish on the Pound Dollar. I'll be taking any continuation long to the upside, and that's about it. But I just want to point out the danger of that last setup that I pointed out, which is right here where we go above, we close back inside, and above, and close back inside. Again, it's got about a 65% hit rate, and that's why I like it as that secondary backup strategy, but different than what a lot of people will be doing. Kiwi Dollar, no trade on the Kiwi Dollar right now. No trade on the Kiwi Dollar. Kiwi CAD, no trade on the Kiwi CAD. Kiwi Swissy, I'm long on and in drawdown. I'll actually be exiting this position today because I am getting the sell signal on the daily time transformation. So we'll mark this one red because action needs to be taken. Kiwi Yen. Kiwi Yen was a good long trade. One could have taken a valid long trade yesterday. One still could. I don't really like to see this downsloping Wadatar explosion, but all we need is a volume spike, and that completely goes away, so who cares? Dollar Canadian, no trade on the Dollar Canadian. Again, you could take that that reversal volatility band trade that I talked about. You go below, you close back inside yesterday on yesterday's candle. You would be targeting right now. You would be targeting 32.25. 32.25 is where I'd be out of the Dollar CAD. Pound Aussie, I am probably going to be shorting the Pound Aussie. Yeah, I'm going to be shorting the Pound Aussie, for good or for ill. The Dollar Swissy, no trade. Bullish, but no trade. The Dollar Yen, bullish as all get out. Would I enter now? Absolutely not. Wait for a retracement. The Aussie Canadian, I am long on. I've got my stop at break even and just letting price play out. The Aussie Swissy, same thing. I am long on the Aussie Swissy, and I will actually be exiting the Aussie Swissy today because I am getting the sell signal from time transformation. So I'll mark that one red because action needs to be taken. And the dollar yuan. I will be shorting the dollar yuan. So I'll mark that one red because action needs to be taken. And there we go. So serious question here. Could the US dollar fly up high and quickly for a bit as the world economy tanks whenever that happens? Yeah, in about 15 years. Sure. Yeah. The reason I think it could is other nations could pile into the dollar as their currencies collapse, driving the dollar up until the Malays hits the USA hard too and the dollar falls. Actually, I think that's a very probable scenario. I think that the dollar will go far, way, way up before it comes down. You guys think America's going down without a fight? You guys are tripping. We got guns and tanks coming live to an economic warfare turmoil situation near you. Ain't going down without a fight. Yes, I think that is actually economically a very valid and likely scenario. All right, so it's 101. Let's slide over, and I want to talk about ByBit. What's going on, beautiful people? Now, as a professional trader, I'm often asked what metrics I use to evaluate an exchange, and I always say the same thing: security, ease of use, and customer service. And which one of those three do I care the most about? Customer service. And what exchange has my favorite customer service? That's ByBit. That's why I use it. That's why I recommend people use it. I don't use the other exchanges. I only recommend what I actually use in person. That's why I recommend Windscribe VPN. And even though there is a Nord, there's a Nord VPN thing down there, that's Scott. Scott uses Nord. I don't understand Nord, so I don't say anything about Nord because I don't use Nord. But I know how to use Windscribe up, down, back, left, forward, and sideways because I use Windscribe every day. And the same thing with ByBit. I use ByBit every single day and understand it up, down, left, right, and sideways. If you are looking for a platform to trade your futures, your Bitcoin future contracts on, and you are tired of those wicks over on BitMEX and you'd like to trade on a better exchange with good liquidity that does not have system overload, that has good customer service, that can actually give you a hand when something goes wrong, whereas unlike at BitMEX, it's just an Arthur Hayes meme that they email you. You guys can check out the link in the description down below. ByBit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. They currently have a promotional going on if you use that link where they will deposit, what is it? Is it $100? I forgot. I apologize. It's $100 if you deposit 0.1 BTC, and I think it's $200 if you deposit 0.2. They give you as a margin trading bonus. Could be more than that. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. I know it's a bonus somewhere that you use with the link. And I apologize. I just forgot. It's been a week, guys. So, but anyways, you guys can check that out. ByBit.crackingcryptocurrency.com or bybit.com/a/cc. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about why Trump's economic plan won't work. France saying no to Libra. And we're also going to talk about MasterCard apparently taking a long hedge on Ripple to kind of hedge out their Bitcoin short, most likely. And we're going to talk about a few other things as well. And we might just be looking at traditional finance. Anyways, guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe and hit the bell because YouTube hates YouTubers that do talk about cryptocurrency because YouTube is owned by Facebook. Anyways, moving on. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for coming back, for hanging out, for joining me. Smile Direct Club. I've heard a lot about that IPO lately. No comments on it personally myself. Okay, let's see here. Programming notes for the premium members in the audience. The few, the proud, the brave. I just shot a new PTP video this morning. This one is going to be going in the Pine strategy tester tutorial and strategy building coursework. This is going to be on programmatically setting multiple take profits and programming a stop loss that moves to break even after take profit 1 is achieved. I'm going to be editing that video this afternoon because I want to get something out to you guys before I leave tomorrow. So other programming note, I do have to leave on a family trip tomorrow morning, so I will not be here for the showtime tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. Congratulations. You get a 3-day weekend from me, but I will be back bright and early on Monday to break down the market. Since I can carry my laptop and my phone with me wherever I go, I will still be trading throughout the weekend because I will have a very long car ride upon which to do nothing but that. So anyways, look forward to that, guys. Yes. And if I get a chance to shoot the ByBit VPN video, I will. I know I'm a little late and overdue on that one, but I am definitely working on it, guys. I just need to find time in my schedule to do such a thing. Now, having said all that, you guys didn't come here to hear my excuses. You came here to hear what's going on in crypto. So let's talk about that. Just don't trip over the cat. No cats here, man. Can't stand them. So let's talk about the news. Okay, guys. Now, this pains me to say, but we're going to have to talk about it. So MasterCard has partnered with blockchain firm R3, the home of Ripple and Ripple Labs. And the purpose of this partnership is to develop a new blockchain-enabled cross-border payment solution. You know, a better solution than to walking across the border with a bag full of cash or silver denarii. Now, this system will focus apparently on connecting a global payment system in a fast and secure way. So this partnership and development of this project is part of what MasterCard is calling their multi-rail system, because it's multiple ways to rail you, the customer. And this is a strategy in which they see a future where customers will be able to choose how their funds are routed. Very similar to the Lightning Network. But anyways, MasterCard apparently wants to bring more choice to their clients, to their customers. And as I said, their strategy kind of going forward is giving individuals an opportunity to choose how their payment is routed, across what network it's routed. So MasterCard Executive Vice President of New Payment Platform, Peter Klein, he of the infamous last name, commented that, quote, developing a new and better cross-border business-to-business payment solution by improving our worldwide connectivity in the account-to-account space is central to MasterCard's ambition. Our goal is to deliver global payment infrastructure choice and connectivity as demonstrated through our recent strategic acquisitions and partnerships, including our relationship with R3. It's apparently my thoughts that they have a very large short on Ripple, as they should, and they're trying to hedge their bets a little bit. Now, MasterCard all appears apparently ready to embrace other forms of blockchain technology as well. In August, we also saw job postings at MasterCard suggested that they are interested in developing their own cryptocurrency wallet and seeking blockchain developers for future solutions. So if you guys are looking for a job and you'd like to work for one of the best in the business, go apply over at MasterCard. All right, we got something coming in hot off the pipeline right here. I just cannot refute myself. I guess I'm going to probably be in here trolling here later on. I'm not going to lie. Let's go. So we talked about the imminent Ripple fork. We talked about the proposed Ripple hard fork, and y'all laughed at me. Called me a clickbaiter. No comment. So, but the community of XRP owners, obviously we've talked about this, has shown a lot of displeasure with Ripple, the company, because of their practice of selling a lot of their $55 billion stash of coins every single month. Some believe that XRP would command a higher price if the founding company would just abstain from selling. Stop the dumping, right? We talked about the petition that was signed. We talked about the petition that was started for Ripple to stop the dumping. We talked about the petition that was started to commence the dumping, what did we call it? Grease the wheels or flood the innovation. I can't even remember what we said. But the talks of a hard fork started a few days ago after Ripple unlocked 1 billion, it's Billy with a B, ZERP, and awarded the 100 million ZERP additionally to Jed McCaleb, one of the co-founders of the protocol, who has been notably selling his tokens. And this is most brought to light with Twitter personality at CryptoBitlord calling for the hard fork to create a mirror asset to XRP. And he said, according to CryptoBitlord, who just posted on Twitter, proud to announce that Ripple One Discord channel has opened. This is where we will begin structuring the XRP fork, planning our new future. Share this link and join us now. So I'm going to go ahead and share that Discord link right here in the chat. So feel free to hop in there and troll away, guys. Now, it's important to note that Ripple is one of the few coins that has not forked. Stellar Lumens uses a similar protocol, but is not a hard fork in the classical sense. The project started its blockchain from block 0. So on the other hand, a hard fork that also holds the history of the distributed Ripple ledger would mean that someone still has control over the majority of coins. It's important to note this. Ripple has their 55 billion fund locked up. So if there was a hard fork done, there would still be that massive centralized $55 billion wallet unless there was some significant reorg of the network. And how would they structure that? Would they just wipe those 55 billion off? Would they just reduce the market cap like that? If you guys want to talk about manipulating market cap. We know that Ripple established themselves a fund of 55 billion coins, which was locked for a predetermined period to limit the XRP in circulation. The Ripple One fork, however, will remove, so apparently they're going to remove the pre-mined coins and also start from scratch. Interesting. So that is also, unfortunately, going to erase everybody's history. So you guys want to start from scratch. But what does this mean, though? Let's say that the Ripple hard fork is successful. That means the death of the XRP community. You guys are starting from scratch. You guys built absolutely nothing. And I'm talking about the hodlers. I am speaking to the Ripple hodlers. I don't care about the company Ripple or its strategic partnerships or how much it gives or how much money its founders make by dumping on unsuspecting Ripple buyers, people who are just going to the exchange and buying up some Ripple because they think it's a good long-term hold or a good investment part of their portfolio. Risk on asset my ass. Now, I'm just saying that with all these talks, with everything that seems to be coming out, I mean, it doesn't seem like you guys have built a very strong community. And if you guys, now, I'm not saying that you haven't. I'm not saying that Ripple has not built a strong community because I would argue that they actually have. What I'm saying is, if you guys start over from block 0, it's like everything you've built up until now is now going to be tested for the first time. So all the people who have held on to Ripple just on the hopes that the price would now rise, they're going to have to start all over again. And you're going to see a lot of that community support die away. So either way, this is bad for Ripple. This is bad for Ripple, and the way that Bitcoin dealt with this is that Bitcoin was very, very, very aggressive. Bitcoin was very aggressive by denouncing the big blockers, by pushing out Bitcoin Unlimited, by denouncing the New York Agreement, by implementing SegWit, by implementing code that forced miners to signal for SegWit. And because of that, the Bitcoin community was kept in part. Now, of course, part of the Bitcoin community split off and went with the big blockers and went with the Bitcoin Unlimited delusionaries, in my opinion. But what remained was a better, stronger, and more sleek Bitcoin. And I think that Ripple also has to, if Ripple is to survive, they're going to have to deal with this in a very similar fashion. And I would recommend that they take a page from Bitcoin. And of course, you're going to hear all of this. Oh, well, Bitcoin, they're just saying that there can't be any innovation and nobody can have their own ideas. No, that's not what we're saying. But the majority of developers and the majority of everybody, the majority of the miners and the majority of everybody that was involved in Bitcoin said, you guys are wrong about this big block thing. Security vulnerability, we don't need it. You're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. And what you guys are doing is harmful to the community. So people who actually care about Bitcoin, as they should, because this is the one of the few assets that's ever been promoted around the world where people can trade it, where people can invest in it, where people can buy it, that allows you to be your own bank, has the potential, is a government hard currency that has the actual capacity to transform fundamentally the way that the world perceives monetary value and ownership, right? It is in line with libertarian ideals. It is in line with anarcho-capitalistic ideals. And it is just one of those few assets that has the ability to actually improve people's lives. So you tend to try to protect something like that as much as you can. Now, Ripple does have the advantage of a pretty large presence in the crypto space. The company is known for their high-level publicity. So almost constantly, Ripple promotes itself to banks and gives away coins for testing. Now, Ripple One, which is what the new fork is going to be called, Ripple One will have to convince all the partners and supporters that its proposition is better. But the project is going to have a hard time competing with the Ripple social media community, as well as investors that already hold XRP. It is also unknown if Ripple One would be able to recreate the XRapid protocol or other products developed by the Ripple team. Highly unlikely. This is going to be a failed project. So go ahead and slide in there and troll the community. Ripple One should not be mistaken now, I will say, for XRP One, which is another asset based on the Digibyte protocol. So leave them alone. And of course, Satoshi Nakamoto, who is apparently one of the individuals associated with this XRP One Digibyte protocol, says, important announcement, hashtag XRP One is not a hard fork of XRP. XRP One is a digital asset via the Digibyte coin. Just making things clear for everyone. Please don't message me about an XRP airdrop on your XRP address. Still more decentralized, though. Awesome, man. Good stuff. Ferguson says, but sir, I wasn't texting. I was opening up a short. Crypto is a good name for your cats that will not move. So it's not that I can't stand cats. It's not that I don't like cats. I don't mind cats. I like to pet them. I don't like pets in my house. I don't like pets in my house. I like pets outside. They belong. Jed just feels like a used car salesman. I mean, how many more trash coins does this guy need his hands in? Discord is a slum, Degen City. Yeah, it can be, but I've also met some of the best people I know on Discord, man. All right. Now, next. Coinbase may soon launch an IEO platform. Is the rumor true? Could a Ponzi scheme be coming soon to an America near you? Americans, we have sat here and we have watched, Asian after Asian after Asian ICO and IEO, and we've been blocked and banned and SEC regulations and this, that, and the third. Could it possibly finally be our time? Could it possibly finally be that one brief moment beyond Bitcoin where we will actually have that get rich quick opportunity? Coinbase, you cannot let us down. Do not tease us, Coinbase. Do not tease us. So comments made to CoinDesk at the Invest Asia conference. Coinbase's head of institutional sales in Asia, Kayvon Kiristani, said that an IEO fundraising platform could represent, quote, a really interesting opportunity for the San Francisco-based company. Now, the speculation is that Coinbase is getting ready to launch a proprietary exchange token that Coinbase users will use to engage in fundraising. Yes, Americans, we're going to get our own BNB. It's possible. It's going to be possible. CNB. Come on, guys. Coinbase token. CBB. I don't care what they call it. CBD. Doesn't matter. Drop it on your tongue. Let's do this. Give America. Let's make shit coins great again, guys. Come on. Coinbase, you can do this. You can do this. You've got Binance kicking out Americans. We don't know if Binance USA is going to suck or not. Coinbase, you got this, man. You have the ball in your hands. You cannot drop this. Do not let these legions of degen Americans, this young generation of young crypto traders, do not let them down. They look to you with open hearts and bleeding hands after catching knife after knife after knife after knife after knife on Binance. Please deliver us, Coinbase, from the bear market. So he says, quote, in a nutshell, Coinbase is carefully exploring not only the IEO space, but also STOs, which are security token offerings, which I think are going to be the real investment future for individuals that are actually looking to seriously invest, institutional investors, people who want a good, stable source of income. I've already talked about STOs that I'm interested in, but again, I'm not promoting any of them on the show. But unfortunately, he said he could not make any formal announcements right now, said Piristani. Now, while he did also say a potential Coinbase IEO platform announcement may still be within the next few months, plans for regulated securities offerings in the US are less far along. Back in July 2018, Coinbase received regulatory approval to acquire several securities firms along with their broker-dealer licenses, including Keystone Capital Corporation, Venovate Marketplace, and Digital Wealth LLC. When asked about these plans, Piristani affirmed that broker-dealer licenses have been obtained by Coinbase, but they're still, quote, digesting the acquisition and repurposing their respective licenses. So, just hold up. Isn't Coinbase English? No, Coinbase is based in San Francisco. Will Donald Trump ban crypto just like e-cigarettes? Listen here, Donald. From my cold, dead hand. You hear me? My cold, dead hand. Hashtag Sub-Ohm Innovation. Not a sponsor, but could be. All right, now let's see here. More like a Persian rug salesman. So name it CoinCoin? Yeah, name it CoinCoin. Okay. Coinbase. Talking to Coinbase right now, guys. So just in the audience, you got to do this, man. Brian, remember that time we met at Blockchain Expo? I know you hear me. I know you remember me. Don't fuck this up. Okay. Maybe, we'll just pray and hope that the crypto gods hear us. Now, over here. Hopping across the pond. France's economic minister, Bruno Le Maire, spoke today in Paris, France, while at the OECD's Global Blockchain Policy Forum 2019. Try to say that 5 times real fast. Lemierre stated that France will halt the development of Facebook's planned European rollout of Libra, citing a threat to, quote, monetary sovereignty of the French government. He said, quote, I want to be absolute. I'm not going to do a French accent because otherwise I'm going to lose 3% of my subscribers. I want to be absolutely clear. In these conditions, we cannot authorize the development of Libra on European soil, end quote. Now, while it's likely that France cannot outright ban, realistically, the Swiss-based Libra or its development, the French government could ban apps as well as merchants and payment processors from serving consumers utilizing Libra within their borders. So while the political and financial objections are continuing to be piled and piled and piled at Libra, all I can think is, dang it, Libra, this was supposed to be Bitcoin. I wanted to see the French minister Lemierre, the economic minister that is, Lemierre, get up there and say, we cannot allow Bitcoin on our soil. It is a threat to French national sovereignty. Darn it, Zuckerberg, you're stealing Bitcoin's thunder, man. I hate new things. Quote, France. Now, the corporate-led, i.e. Libra, fintech revolution, supposed to be Bitcoin, is going to push forward despite the inevitable roadblocks. Dante Disparte, why couldn't I have been born with that name? He is the head of policy and communications at Libra. He told Decrypt, quote, in the nearly 3 months, Dr. Brahms, thanks so much for the sub, or the follow over there on Twitch, my good friend. Thank you, man. Dante Disparte told Decrypt, quote, in the nearly 3 months since the intent to launch the Libra project was announced, we have become the world's most scrutinized fintech effort. We welcome the scrutiny and have deliberately designed a long launch runway to have these conversations, educate stakeholders, and incorporate their feedback in our design. Off camera, he said, yeah, try and stop us, France. We coming at you, bro. We coming. That's what that really means, by the way. While in the past, sovereign states and their central banks have enjoyed a virtual monopoly on the creation and distribution of currency, of course, we are now entering into an era where corporations and companies taking their inspiration from cypherpunks and coders who created all of this fintech revolution in the first place in the realm of decentralized cryptocurrencies, which will prove to be the end all be all when all of the dust has settled. Might take a while, but we'll get there. So this is obviously an age we're moving into where corporate coins are here to stay. And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Corporate coins are going to be successful. I think that we're going to see central banks versus corporate coins first, and then out of that rubble and the negative effect most likely on people's lives, we're going to see whatever wins versus Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will continue to gain strength, gain decentralization, and grow in the shadows where they cannot harm us. So I think that many existing stakeholders in the current financial system, I think that their response that we're seeing, especially as encapsulated here from Lemierre in France, is very predictable based on this disruptive technology actually now unsettling them a little bit. Justin, just mimic Inspector. Just mimic Inspector Klaus. Close enough. I had 4 years of French in high school and 11 quarters in college. Turns out they had 51 phrases for I surrender. There just went all my French subscribers. I love you guys. He's got some beautiful women over there. Now, I will say that Lemierre, he did go on to say some positive stuff about cryptocurrency, though. He went on to clarify France's position, or his position specifically, on the tax obligations in cryptocurrency, stating that crypto-to-crypto trades will be tax exempt. Instead, France will only tax cryptocurrency gains when they are converted into traditional currency. So whenever you sell for fiat currency, not Tether. So you can sell into Tether or USDC or whatever it is. It's only when you actually cash out to the dollar will you have to settle up and pay the NVT. Or excuse me, not the NVT, the VAT. My bad. And he says, quote, "We believe that the moment the gains are converted into traditional money is the right time to assess tax," Lemire said, also adding that the country's value-added tax will only be assessed when a cryptocurrency is used to purchase a good or service. So, America, I hope you're listening. If I have to file one more year, complicated tax returns, and burden my accountant with nonsense, I'm going to lose it. All right. That's all I got. Oh, no, that's not all I got. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about Trump. Now, I'm going to be speaking a little out of turn potentially here on comments made by our illustrious president, the Donald. So yesterday, Trump tweeted, quote, "The Federal Reserve should get our interest rates down to 0 or less. We should then start to refinance our debt. Interest costs could be brought way down." Interest costs should be brought way down, all in caps. So, unfortunately, and again, listen, guys, I lean to the right, but I take digs at Mr. Donald whenever he gets it wrong, and I praise him whenever he does something right. So, unfortunately, Donald, national debt does not work like that. You cannot refinance national debt that way. And that would also be bad for the economy. So, national debt issued by the Treasury and home mortgages are just not the same in the way that they work. So, for those of you who have ever refinanced debt, so for those of you out there who have a mortgage and have ever refinanced your mortgage, you know that when interest rates fall, you can normally take out a new loan now at these lower interest rates, use the proceeds to pay off your new loan, your old loan, and you have a new loan at a lower interest rate, right? People will also often do this to pay off old debt. So credit card debt, where they are paying 22% APR, for example, and they can refinance a home loan at 5 to 6% APR and use the proceeds to pay off their credit card debt and have a significantly lower monthly payment and overall be paying a smaller amount over time, the period of the payout. And this is because personal and mortgage debt is callable debt, meaning that you have the right to pay off the balance or the principal at face value anytime you want before the term of the loan is mature, before the loan is mature. So typically, if you have callable debt, say I loan you $1,000 at 3% interest APR, right? Which would be a pretty sweet deal. 3% interest APR. And then all of a sudden, my interest rates change to 2.5%. Well, let's say you owe me, at this point in time, you owe me like $870 in principal, and you're continuing to pay interest over time. You take out the new loan for $870, pay off your balance, and now you are making smaller payments. You still owe the same balance to me, but you are now making smaller monthly payments, and overall the total debt obligation has reduced. Now that sucks for me as a lender because I would have preferred to lock you in for the payment period at a 3% APR. I would much rather enjoy that payment as a lender than having you pay me 2.5% for probably a smaller period of time or the same period of time. I'm still extracting less money from you, darn it. But this is the way, unfortunately it is, that Treasury debt is not the same way. And it's not unfortunate, actually. It's good that it is this way. It's non-callable debt. So that means that the Treasury cannot purchase its securities back at face value whenever they want to. They have to actually let the term of the loan or the term of the security mature. They have to let it expire, right? Now, this is good. So let's just go here. This is a risk for the lender, right? It's a risk for the lender because they're taking the risk of receiving less money than they would if the loan term was fixed and the borrower was paying that higher interest rate for the loan term. So debt issued by the Treasury is not callable, so the government does not have the right to repurchase its securities at face value anytime they want. Now that, if they could, that would open up a whole new avenue of financial corruption and monetary sedition that we have not seen quite yet. Now, because Treasury debt is non-callable, this allows us to have a secondary market for Treasury securities and bonds, right? And that's good because we want to be able to sell them or buy them. Now, the Treasury could buy its own securities, i.e. bonds, on the secondary market at face value, but they would have to pay a premium for them, as that is the price that they're going to be traded at on the open market. And the reason why they're going to be trading at a premium is because whoever is going to sell the treasury security, whoever's going to sell you the bond, would be giving up the interest rate that that bond is paying out for cash right now. And as such, the buyer is going to have to pay a premium on the future value of that note, of that security. Now, the government has, so all that to say that even if the government did that, even if the Treasury bought back all of its debt at market value and paid the premium for it, that would not do the taxpayer. Even if the Treasury turned to some new borrowing source and tried to and borrowed at a, can't do that. The Treasury can't buy back its securities at face value. So all that to say that refinancing the debt's not going to happen. And it will not save the taxpayer or the federal government any money. Now, here's the thing, though. The federal government has issued callable debt before, and it could do it again. But callable debt usually comes with a higher interest rate because, as I said, it poses a risk to the lender, unlike a fixed term of maturity, which a lender would much rather loan out to you. And that still wouldn't do anything to fix the debt that we currently hold. So it doesn't make sense for Trump to be calling for these low interest rates. Now, don't get me wrong. It makes sense for Trump to do it because he's just saber rattling. Because unfortunately, even though you can objectively look at the numbers of our economy and say, hey, things look pretty darn good, things have become so hyper politicized that unless Trump can come out on the campaign trail and say, look, man, not only was the economy absolutely terrible when I took office, I have made it 900,000% better. 900,000% better. You know, unless he can say that, he can't just say, hey, man, the economy's a whole lot better than when that last dude was in office. He can't say that, even though it is, because that's not good enough. Because unfortunately, it's a political circus, man. And all anybody wants to talk about is the stuff that doesn't, in my opinion, matter a whole lot for people's bottom dollars. You know, they want to talk about social issues, which is not the federal government's job. You know, there's a lot that I disagree with the left on. There's a lot that I agree with the left on. Okay. What we unfortunately disagree on is things that we should settle in our local communities. Okay. That's the purpose. I want people to be free to do whatever they want to do, as long as they're not hurting me or my loved ones. That's it. Hurt none, do what thou wilt, lest thou hurt one. And unfortunately, I think that a lot of my peers on the other side of the aisle would prefer to have government have conduct regulated. And we don't disagree on the conduct. Some we do, but that's personal. We're allowed to disagree. But I don't want a government, I don't want any central entity telling anybody how to live their life. That's for us to settle on our own. Don't let government have that much power over your local life. Government should be small enough to drown in a bathtub. So that's just where I come from. Now, it makes sense. Unfortunately, this election is going to be fought over, either racism or it's going to be fought over economic issues or whatever. And I don't think framed in the correct way. It's all going to be framed through political bias, which is unfortunate because if you just look at the objective numbers, you see a different picture of the economy. But so it makes sense for Trump to call for these lower interest rates because that makes him look good with his base. I don't understand why, unfortunately. But, I've said this before. I do not think that the securities market is in a bubble. And as almost all major recessions were caused by a very large bubble, the housing market, for example, in the 2008 financial crisis, I don't think that we are heading for a recession anytime soon. I think that we're going to see all-time highs, most likely on our securities markets. However, that's not to say that a recession could not happen or that a recession could not happen due to social turmoil, this seeming like frickin' civil war that we might potentially be on the verge of, poor decisions of administration, or other issues of monetary policy, global unrest, frickin' war, who knows what's going on with China. But the longer we continue to have no long-term solution either to balancing the budget or no long-term solution to really addressing the problems that are dividing our country, and the more attention is just spent to pandering to both sides, the more that outlook of recession looks possible. But again, I'm bullish on securities right now. I just bought more stocks this month, just as I bought more cryptocurrency this month. But I digress. Now, I talked about this. Let's slide over to let's slide back over to Bitcoin. I talked about this as well this morning, and that's the fact that the Fed has no incentive to negotiate with Trump. None. In fact, you know, whether or not it would be good for the economy, everybody in Bitcoin, I'd like them to consider this possibility, that everybody's kind of looking for this big global crisis of confidence in the United States dollar for people to be like, oh man, maybe we should check out this Bitcoin thing. And if Trump can somehow incite anger against the Fed, because the Fed's just going to be like, nah, man, we're going to do what we want. Like, what are you going to do? Now, see, this is different from China, for example, because, you know, Trump could theoretically get people riled up enough to be like, hey, let's go shoot those guys over there. Because everything always ends in force. Like the ultimate outcome of any argument is the use of force, right? So if you're not willing to go to the use of force to finish your argument, then better off not making the argument. That's why you have to have things that you stand on, right? When you stand on something, that means this is a hill I'm willing to die on, right? So in my personal life, that's my commitment to my family, and that's my commitment to being a good person, and that's my commitment to acting ethically. There are ways that you have to be as a human being that you're not going to compromise on. Be resolute like a statue. Unconfiscatable. So, but if somehow we could get this violence incited against the Fed, you know, we get people with their pitchforks and spears and you know, old ladies with the kitchen knives like running in like, Donald Trump said the Fed was screwing up my life. Blah, 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 blah. Well, cool, man. Then we can be in there to be like, yo, buy Bitcoin. Yes. Just a thought. Not realistic, but just a thought. Any Hoosers? Thoughts on Flexa? Flexa coin. Ooh, man, looks rough. No, not really, brother. I don't see any big volume coming in that would change anything. I don't see any significant levels getting taken out. I don't see anything except for the daily flip-flopping. It's super gappy, man. This is a bot market right now. Doesn't mean that it won't change at some point in time, but I mean, look at those. Look at this 4-hour candle. I mean, this is nasty. It's nasty. Stay away. Okay. Let's think here. Nope. So we've got about an hour and 12 minutes for the next 4-hour close, and we've got about 5 hours before the daily close. So the 4-hour would be telling you to go ahead and take a long position on the close of the previous 4-hour candle. And you're basically getting that same entry point right now. Now, keep in mind that that's actually a valid setup because you are now above the daily baseline. Now, we haven't closed above the daily baseline, which makes me hesitant. And again, I'm still short, not flipping positions. But I will say this. I see the validity of going long, but I'm just not going to go because it's not right to do. I will wait for the daily and the 12-hour to play out. I'll wait for that to push me out, and I still think the trade is the downside. So if there's anything you guys want to look at, I'm totally cool to do that. We've got about 12 minutes left in the show. Or we just talk about this head and shoulders, yo. Looks like a Stegosaurus back, doesn't it? Heisenberg, what's up, man? B-Flow, yes. XRP did hit take profit 1, my brother. Look, XRP U19 short. Interestingly enough, my alarm's not going off, though, for some reason. Move that stop loss. All down, all down. Y'all focus on these head and shoulders patterns too much. Y'all keep missing the knees and toes pattern. Those are the winners. Ken D says, symbol KOR. Corvus Gold Incorporated. On the daily. Bullish. Burlish. I'd go long. On the close of today's daily candle. I'd take profit at 252, 266, 279, and my stop loss would be at 219. I'd go long on Corvus. EGT and Adam, asks Dr. Bronze. Agrisha. Bitcoin pairs or Tether pairs, brother? And Adam. Call this a King Ghidorah pattern. Yeah. EGT, no. Above 51 sats is where I'd consider buying EGT, because that would be going below and back above the lower band of volatility, and I'd be targeting 89 sats. Pretty nice move. About a 70% trade, but you don't bottom feed buy something without a bullish sign. And again, it hasn't worked out very well here or here. Good luck, sir. Adam BTC. Adam looks pretty damn good. Got the long signal over here on Adam. Sideways for a little bit and then up to the races. So going off of that, or let's say you got the original entry. You'd have been looking at 28,470 sats, 30,721 sats, 32,971 sats, with a stop at 22,845. As it sits right now, taking the long, you take the long now, you're looking at 31,636 sats, 34,292 sats, 36,948 sats, with a stop at about 24,996. Doesn't look bad, but would have been better to get that original entry. But yeah. We can get a 4-hour retracement too as well. As long as this wasn't a grab for liquidity, you'll be all right. Hi, Theta Phi. Thank you so much for the dollar, my good friend. Highly appreciated, my good friend. Dr. Brahm says 90% loss in 1 week. Someday will stop or is a scam. EGT? Yeah, man. In the arms. Let's actually, hold on a second. Make sure I do it justice. Pull back open that chart. Four. In the arms of the angels, fly away from me. You little EGT investors, so sweet. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Never forget. September 11th. All right, now. Zero minus touch zero. Can I comment on the triple bottom on the 12-hour RSI? I'm not sure if you actually think the RSI is a valid indicator. I think that the RSI is not a good indicator. I think it's a terrible indicator, but it can be used for specific things. I think if you had a moving average on, I think if you put a moving average or another filter on the RSI, I think it gets a whole lot better. The reason why I stay away from the RSI is I don't like its calculation. I think it's not as good as things like the transform, for example, but it just trains, like it just comes along with that whole oversold, overbought trading reversals in cryptocurrency, which is not a thing. And I really think gets people started just down the right path. Maybe one day I'll make a video about the RSI. But I don't think the chart, I don't think that patterns on oscillators work either. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. It's not anything that I've ever seen validity of or would like to see, because you can see, the problem is, man, you can see like triple bottoms, double bottoms all the time. And I know this is, you know, like, again, the argument against this is like, no, man, look at my chart. It's very clear. You can objectively see the triple bottom, the double bottom, the higher high, lower low on the RSI. But in the moment, you are subjectively interpreting that, and it's not something that can easily be replicated via backtesting. And maybe it can. I don't know. I don't want to. I think you're here in the chat, man. I'm not trying to alienate you. Just don't think the RSI is a good indicator. And what do I think? But let's look at it. Let's look at BTC USD on the 12-hour. and we'll look at the RSI. Well, so okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and of course the RSI is bottoming there because that's where price bottomed. But you know, let's look here. Look at the RSI, right? Let's be as objective as we can about this, right? So above, I'm going to be objective above the 70 line, and we're starting at December 2018. Okay, so look, we have our first top. So there's a triple top, right? Now, people are going to be like, no, man, you can't count that first one. You see the triple top here. Okay, well, why can't we count the first one? Why are we not counting the first one? So same thing over here. You're not oversold, so I'm going to say it's going to be harder to determine. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so why are we counting these 3? Why aren't we counting this one? What's wrong with this one? Are we doing quadruple bottoms now? Does this one not qualify for some reason? Oh, it's not as low. Well, these aren't below. I'm at least counting all the ones above. Right? So let's go back and actually look what happened. All right, so here's our first top on the RSI. Here's our second top. And here's our triple top. And here's what happened. Right, but people are going to say, no, bro. It's only the last 3. Can't count that first one. Well, what objective standard do you have to filter out that first one? And I'm not targeting you out 0 minus. This is my thoughts on the RSI and why it leads so many traders the wrong way. Same with chart patterns. So now let's go over and look at our triple bottom. Right? So why are we not counting this one? 1, 2, triple bottom. Oh, we're going to the moon. Okay, this happened after that triple bottom. But again, why is it only these 3? 1, 2, 3. So that is my initial problems with what you just said. How about Nano BTC? Sure, man. Oh, lordy. Run away. Doesn't look good. Might be a double bottom, might be a higher low. Who knows? I'll buy it when it's trending. Thank you so much, man. But you can see here, we close below the volatility boundary, come up inside of it. We target the baseline, which, depending on how you set your baseline target, probably didn't even hit. And now we're back below that volatility band. So buy it coming back up, man. Buy it coming back up. You have a better chance. We don't want to buy things just because they're cheap. This does not look good to me. Because it could be that, right? Here's your first reversal up to the baseline, right? Same thing. Here's opportunity where below closes within the volatility band. You hit the baseline. You're targeting the upper boundary. Don't quite make it. That's okay. You close back below. You exit your position there. All out. And then here at this candle, you might say, oh, we're going below. Right? It's a higher low. So I would kind of have that same attitude about what we're looking at right now. We're in bearish structure, man. This is bearish structure on Nano BTC. Just bought $10,000 of BRKA long-term analysis, please. I don't even know where to... Oh, are you talking about... Oh, yeah. Berkshire Hathaway, man. Bullish, man. Monthly looks fantastic. Yeah, I want to pull that back. I don't want to say it looks fantastic. It looks good. Looks good. All right. Okay. Got nice confirmation here from Fisher Transform. We've got price coiling, meaning we're ranging and we're chopping, right? We're ranging and we're chopping. Now, look at what the monthly's done, right? The monthly hasn't crossed below on the minks for quite a long time. So once you see that monthly cross and close below, actually, I'd still be in this thing. I'd still be in this thing above 289,040. Still being here above 289,040. Below that, though, I'm definitely out. Wadatar's flipping. You know, you're not in a period of fantastic bullish expansion. I would ideally like to see a rising explosion level. I think that this breaks to the upside. On the daily, looks great on the daily, but you know, if you're looking for an investment, you're talking about the monthly. And the monthly looks good. You're in a clear bullish trend, man. So in a clear bullish trend, you kind of want to buy when price is cheap or closer to your baseline or closer to your 30 Donchian or closer to your lower volatility band. But I don't think you're doing wrong. Euro. Uranium, on the other hand, does not look so good. Now, this is the first time that Minx has gone oversold and came back above, but I don't think that means too much, unfortunately. Go to the weekly. The weekly is still bearish, unfortunately. Now, the daily got you in right here. Up about 4%. And you're getting the daily time transformation sell signal, so I'd be exiting the position. And waiting for a fresh continuation signal. Thanks. Thank you very much, Nas HD, for pointing out the scam, brother. Just gave the Hitler salute. Oh, what am I, T-Pain now? I should be on America's Got Talent. Oh, I feel you, did you, man? Happy to bring you guys some entertainment. Cardenio is the last one I'm going to look at. Then I got a jet, guys. Bearish. Bearish rejection. Close below the baseline. Rejection from the 30-period Donchian. Minx turn bearish. Wadatar explosion's not giving you a clear signal. You got to wait on this one. You got to wait on this one. No bueno. I would be looking to short this if I could. Well, I'd be looking to short this, but I didn't. Don Candid, man. Thank you so much for the 20 Noke, man. Highly appreciate it, my good friend. Tornado relief money. Thank you, man. Charlie Lee 2.0 wrecked. Zero Minus says, I feel like the percent difference between those specific bottoms are much closer than other varyings. Potentially, man. Like I said, you know, I'm not dissing you or your analysis. That could be a completely valid way to trade. I'm just pointing out the potential flaws or the questions that you would want to address. And if that's your answer to it, that's absolutely fine. I'm not telling you you're right or wrong. I think that if you can find an edge in trading that, then, man, I'm here for you, dude. I am not telling you that you're not going to make money that way. I'm telling you, I fucking hope you make money that way. Because so many people I know do stuff like that and don't. That's all I'm saying. I am on your side. Thank you, man. Highly appreciate it. It's all about the 1, 2, 3 triple deck. Mighty Ducks forever. Is my baseline a certain MA or EMA? Yes, yes it is. Monster Doji on gold. Yeah, man, I gotta go, guys. Yep. Jay Constant, Ferguson, Wendy Brown, Dan. Grab D Money Bags. We'll check out some stocks next time, man. I promise. Johan Bry, Freak, Dash to the Moon. Go, baby, go. B-Flow. Zero Minus Touch. P Theta Phi. MF ConCon, Don Candon, Spectre Security Coin, Mike Pops, and of course, the rest of the regulars. You guys are awesome, fantastic. Listen, let's slide over. I want to talk. Hey, what were you doing over there? You didn't even say anything. You were there sitting in my room the whole time? Big weirdo, you. Hey, I got to go on a family trip tomorrow, guys. So I won't be here for the live show. But I will be back bright and early on Monday. Oh, yes. So, don't do anything I wouldn't do over the weekend, because I'll be back here on Monday, and we're going to talk about it. All right? So, we taking any of those crazy degen longs or degen shorts. Stick to the plan and trade safely. All right, guys. Listen, if you guys enjoy the show and you would like to support us, the best thing that you can do is simply spread the word. Share us. There is a button right there where you can share and copy the link. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell people you don't even like. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I want you to trade safely. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or potential death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below. Beefs us up for the YouTube algorithm gods. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. We highly appreciate that, unless you hit it on the way coming in which case you're awesome and I love you. But if you didn't, hey, on the way out works too. Okay, we all make mistakes. Sure, you've got time before Jesus comes back. If you guys want to support the podcast, or if you just want to listen to us at your leisure, breakingbitcoin.money. You can see the notes of everything we talked about today, links to everything we talked about during the show, as well as the analysis. And you can also add us to your favorite podcast catcher. We're on Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, iTunes. 5-star reviews over there are great. Anything else, you guys can come to the Discord. Discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you have a cracking cryptocurrency specific related question or a trading related question, you go to the Discord, create an account, and you ask there. I'm sure somebody there will answer it. Or if all else fails, you can message me, but I'm generally pretty slow in responding to messages because I get about 30 million of them a week. So I do my best. Try to talk to all the community members as best as I can, but I do spend most of my time up in the premium section working with the members and trying to create new content for you guys. All right, that's about it for me, guys. Trade safely. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. If you guys have any other questions, crackingcryptocurrency.com, or you can check all the links in the show notes to get the answers to the questions that you have. Most likely, I've already covered it in an episode. Most likely, I've already covered it in a video. Most likely, I've already covered it somewhere in the Discord. So, trade safely, guys. And I will see you all on Monday. Peace out.